Denise. Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. It's Denise. Denise. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party. It's a podcast party.
I gotta say, I feel like we're besties now after this. What's up, guys? It's Denise Salcedo. Hello there, everyone. It is Denise. Happy Friday, everyone. It is January 14th, and we are going to be chatting WWE SmackDown and AEW Rampage. Before we get started, I gotta tell you guys, I'm pretty excited because after this show, I am going to be taking 2 beautiful days off. Absolutely no work, Saturday or Sunday. Nothing, no podcasts, no shows, no videos, nothing. I'm going on a 2-day like a one night essentially, but 2-day little getaway road trip thing about like a couple hours away from my house. Not really a couple of hours, like even less than that, I think. But either way, I'm excited. It's going to be a nice, relaxing weekend. So I gotta tell you, I'm a little pumped for today's show. I'm like, showtime, and then I can get ready to go on my vacation, my 2-day vacation. Oh, I actually think they call those staycations. Whatever, but we got wrestling to talk about here today. We got 3 hours of wrestling to cover in 1 hour or less, depending on how much we got to talk about. And given how SmackDown went down, they kind of really didn't give us much to talk about. But before I get into all of that, friendly reminder, if you are on this stream, if you are watching live, do not be shy. Please feel free to send in any thoughts as you guys please throughout this show. This is a very interactive stream, so I do read comments as we go through. But if you want to make sure your comment, question, or statement gets read on the air, 100% guaranteed, you can go ahead and send in a super chat. If you do send in a super chat, I will definitely read your comment. On top of that, they do help me out a whole lot since F4W Online does allow me to keep 100% of all super chats. But now let's go ahead and jump into our first super chat of the day. Thank you so much to Heidi Ho 77 who says, SmackDown is coming to Alabama in March. They're advertising Usos versus New Day. Oh man, what an incentive, right? What an incentive. You get, I don't know if you live in Alabama, but if you do live in Alabama, go watch the Usos versus the New Day in person because we haven't seen it a million times on TV. Thank you so much to Heidi Ho for sending in our first super chat of the day, everybody. So let's kick things off with SmackDown. Now, there isn't much to get into, guys. So I got to say something here for a second, and I don't know how the people here are going to feel about it. I don't know how I feel about it, but today, as I was sitting down watching SmackDown, I thought to myself, how on earth am I struggling more to get through a 2-hour SmackDown than a 3-hour Raw? It makes 0 sense whatsoever. 0 sense, guys. 0. But I just got to tell you, this was probably one of my least favorite SmackDowns that I have seen in quite some time. And keep in mind that I sat through each and every single Baron Corbin, Shinsuke Nakamura rematch that we saw. We saw them wrestle like 1,000 times. I watched all of them. And you know what? I got to tell you that this was not my favorite SmackDown. I did not think this episode of SmackDown was good. There was probably 2 things on this show that I liked, and I think you guys can figure out what 2 things those were. And that was Lita, obviously, and the second one was Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, because that was good stuff there. But other than that, this was not the best show, guys. And usually SmackDown hasn't been good, okay? SmackDown's been suffering a little bit, all right? It's been a little bit of a sinking ship there. But there's always at least some stuff to kind of like keep you engaged through the entire show. I feel like at least there's stuff like, even though I may not like everything on the show, there's still certain stuff that I like. I felt that today it was really hard, guys. It was really hard. We got a super chat from Touch of Gray. Thank you so much to Touch of Gray, who says, I love your quiz segments on Wrestling Observer Live. I watch on Twitch while I do cardio and have fun playing along. Have a great show. Okay, so I got to tell you, this makes me very happy because sometimes when I'm creating these videos, I think to myself, do people even like these videos? And like, I worry that people don't like the videos, right? Like, I was told that people like them, but I'm like, what if they're just telling me that? And like, I try to not like go and read chat comments because you know how that is. But this makes me very happy. And I'm also very excited to let you know that today I just uploaded 5 new videos that just went into the Dropbox. So you should be seeing those air on during the Twitch breaks pretty soon. And they're all trivia games and they're all really, really fun. And I got a few more lined up. So that makes me very, very happy to hear. Like, you literally just made me more excited about doing these videos. Thank you so much to Touch of Gray. But let's go ahead and jump into Friday Night SmackDown. So we had a 4-way. Jesus Christ, I can't even talk right now. We had a 4-way, all right? Sorry, okay. Why can't I speak right now? All right, so we had Cesaro teaming up with Mansoor. I feel so bad for Cesaro, by the way. And this is not a shot in any way at Mansoor, because you guys all know that I love Mansoor, especially if you guys like when he was on Raw, and you guys, if any of you watch my Raw post show, you will know that I'm always putting over Mansoor. But given just like this little, just the fact that they're teaming together, it just doesn't, like, I like both of them, right? But it feels like a big, massive step down for Cesaro. A massive step down. I'm sorry. Anyway, so we have Cesaro and Mansoor teaming together. We have Los Lotarios, Angel Garza, and Humberto. They're essentially tagging together. They've been tagging together. Cool. We got Shanky and Veer, who are all happy, and Shanky and freaking Jinder Mahal, and they're all happy without their good pal Veer, who has gone missing. He's like floating somewhere in the Twilight Zone, nowhere to be found, and the Viking Raiders. And I'm thinking to myself, so whoever wins this Fatal 4-Way essentially gets to get a match against the Usos. And I'm just thinking to myself, like, damn, I do not care for Cesaro and Mansoor as a tag team. They've done nothing to make Angel Garza and Humberto into a legitimate tag team. So, like, even though I want to root for them, I can't. Like, you haven't given me a reason to want to root for them. And then I keep wanting to say Veer. Shanky and Jinder Mahal. I'm not a fan of Shanky and Jinder Mahal. And then the Viking Raiders, like, the Viking Raiders were cool, but they haven't been cool anymore. So I'm just thinking to myself, like, who am I supposed to get invested into this during this Fatal 4-Way tag team match? Like, who is the team that I should be rooting for? So anyways, there was one highlight in this match. One, and it was almost a highlight. Almost. There was a moment where Cesaro essentially wanted to do the big swing on Ivar, but obviously, Ivar, is he's a larger guy. He's a big fella. And he kind of got him, halfway through. And I think not Mansoor. Somebody ended up breaking it up. And that's how he didn't end up executing the actual swing. But that was literally the almost highlight of this match. And in the end, we saw Viking Raiders win. They pinned, both of them pinned Angel Garza. And so we're going to see Viking Raiders versus Usos, which is probably the best option. But the options are slim pickings, everybody. Slim pickings. We got a super chat from Heidi Ho 77 who says, Jimmy Uso doing the white guy announcer's voice was pretty great. Was he the one who was doing, oh yeah, never mind. I was thinking of something else right now. But when you were saying like the introductions that they were doing were really hilarious, actually. They were doing like a game show type of thing. Like, it was a game show type of thing. That's exactly what they were doing. Let's go through a couple more comments. We got people asking where Veer is. How would I know? Veer is just like, I don't know, like the Where's Waldo books? I swear to God, if WWE wanted to make some serious money, they should do Where's Veer? Where's Veer books? You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. So if all of a sudden it's on shopwwe.com, you heard it here first. Thank you so much to DTA Podcast for hopping in here to this chat. Let's go ahead and continue on, everybody. So after this, we got the feud that everybody's most interested in, Sonya Deville and Naomi. So I started thinking, I know that this story has been going on for a while, right? But then I was like, how long has it been going up? So I went back, did a couple of Google searching, just a little bit. And we have been seeing Sonya Deville and Naomi now for the last 6 months, ladies and gentlemen, since August. Since August, we have been seeing this story between Sonya and Naomi. And this all started because for some reason, Sonya Deville just does not like Naomi. We don't know why. She didn't say why. Well, good news, everybody. We found out why today. We now know why Sonya Deville does not care for Naomi. You guys want to know what it is? The big reason that this has been going on for 6 months? The big reason is that Sonya Deville tells Naomi that Naomi walks in like she's a main character, the main character, when in reality, she is an extra. That is the reason why Sonya Deville does not like Naomi. I'm not even lying right now. That's the reason. I don't got anything else to say, guys. That's legitimately there. We got people here saying, good heavens, this angle makes absolutely no sense. Martin Jordan says long-term booking. Hey, a lot of people, we wanted long-term booking. You can't complain. That is long-term booking. Cadillac Carson says, dang, Sonya, that's kind of mean. She's definitely been mean to Naomi. And it's been frustrating. Like, no offense, but like, Naomi's obviously the baby face in this, right? But there comes a certain point where you can't cheer for a baby face that for 6 months has not been able to essentially get her revenge on Sonya Deville. Like, how much longer do I gotta wait for Naomi to officially get this once and for all settled with Sonya Deville? Like, when? 6 months? That's too much. I think that this could have been, they could have had something with this story, but it needed to be, started strong, kept strong, and finished strong, and where we can all be like, okay, this was a good little story. Great. Let's see what it did for Sonya. Let's see what it did for Naomi. But that's not where we're at with this. So I kind of feel like, unfortunately, there was a lot of, they could have sped through this a lot faster. Like, this could have been a 3-month thing, maybe even less, to be honest. Maybe a little bit less. Let's go through a couple of more comments. We got people saying, can Naomi just join the bloodline already? God, anything. But here's the thing too, like, they need to give Naomi some edge. If they would have given her some edge during this, then I would have been like, hell yeah, like, might as well already join the bloodline. But it's like, they haven't given her any edge, man. Like, this whole thing, like, her, like, with Sonya Deville has made her, like, it doesn't feel like she's really standing up for herself. So, like, I can't root for her anymore. Like, she's got to stand up for herself at some point. And she's been trying to, right? But it's not really working out. All right, let's go ahead and move on. YT says Naomi should eliminate Sonya from the Rumble. I'm pretty sure this is where it's all leading to. It's just going to lead to, like, an elimination, and then that's it. That is it. All right, let's go through a couple more, everybody. Let's go ahead and talk about the insane Sami Zayn segment that we got. So I fell for this, everybody. I fell for this. I was so excited. So we had Sami Zayn coming out with 2 guys behind him, and he's in a shopping cart, and he is wearing a helmet. And they have this like skateboarding ramp that is set up on the outside of the ring. And then you have the ring, and then you have like this really large cushion, right? So they're making it seem like these 2 guys are going to push Sami Zayn. He is going to go through the little ramp, somehow land in the ring, and I don't know how, but somehow roll over and land into that crashing pad. Well, we didn't get that. And part of me thought, you know what? If they do this, this would be pretty hilarious and the best thing on the entire show. And I thought they were at least going to execute it, but instead you just had Sami Zayn teasing the people because obviously, he's being cowardly and he's, supposedly going to do it, but he doesn't. So every time he tells the guys to go, he finds a reason for them not to push him down the ramp. So part of me was a little bit disappointed. I know I got my hopes up. I really did get my hopes up during this, but we didn't end up seeing Sami Zayn go through that. Instead, we saw Rick Boogs coming out. He comes in, lifts up Sami Zayn, and tosses him right into that crashing pad. So it was kind of disappointing. It could have been something cool, but it ended up being just a little bit disappointing. So yeah, that was pretty much all of that. And Mike M says, does Sami actually enjoy doing this stuff? That I don't know, but Sami Zayn, like nobody can sell this like Sami Zayn. Like I give so much credit to Sami Zayn because it doesn't matter how bad an idea is, he will make it work because he's just like naturally funny. And when you're naturally funny like that, like you can do this type of stuff and get away with it. Like you can have Sami Zayn go out there and do ridiculous things and you still like him, right? Like you still laugh, you still enjoy seeing Sami Zayn. When he comes out, you don't go, ugh. You don't do that, right? Because he has that personality that he's able to get away with that stuff. Now it's not the same like when you have Madcap Moss and Baron Corbin out there and they're doing these ridiculous jokes and you're like, oh God, why? Why today? Two totally different types of things. But anyways, also, so guys, so on, I think it was last week's show or one of my recent shows, somebody brought up the Intercontinental Championship, and they basically brought up the fact that it hasn't been defended like in a really long time, right? And somebody else brought up that, like, I forgot when exactly they said the last time the belt was defended on a pay-per-view, and I was stunned. Like, I remember being stunned, and so I kind of went back a little bit, and I really hope, so the Intercontinental Championship, at least the last time that it was defended on SmackDown was back in September. So it's at least been a little bit over 3 months since the last time we saw the title be defended on SmackDown. They've been doing, the matches at, the house shows and all of that, but not necessarily on SmackDown. And then on top of that, so I don't think I'm right, and I hope I'm not right, but I think the last time that the Intercontinental Championship was defended on a pay-per-view was back at WrestleMania. I know. I'm pretty sure. BTW. I hope I didn't mess anything up, but there you go. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and continue on. So what we got next is Natty versus Aaliyah. So this was something else too, guys. This was not, I don't know what this was. We had Natalya backstage talking to Aaliyah, and she's, they're doing an interview with Megan Morant, okay? And Aaliyah's talking about how she's so excited because it's her debut, and oh, she's so nervous, and she hopes she doesn't gag, and all of this. Legitimately, this is what it was. And then you had Natalya basically coming out with the Guinness Book of World Records. And she's basically talking about her world records that she has accomplished, right? And Aaliyah basically looks at her and she's like, oh, that book still exists? I didn't even know it was a thing, right? And I'm thinking, oh, they're doing the age thing. No, please, no. But anyways, they didn't really go about it too hard. That was pretty much it. She was just kind of, alluding to the fact that she didn't know about the book. And immediately I thought to myself, well, clearly Aaliyah hasn't gone to the mall because I was at the mall this Christmas season and they now have the Amazon bookstores there, like the little Amazon bookstores. You can go to the mall and you can buy yourself a book, BTW. And I went to the mall, I went into the Amazon store, and bam, right there in the sales section was the Guinness World Records book. So Aaliyah needs to go to the mall. Anyway, so we end up having, so Natalya basically says, I've beaten this record, I've beaten that record. I want to go out there and I want to set a new record and I want to beat Aaliyah very fast, right? So she attacks her prior to the match. She attacks Aaliyah. And Aaliyah essentially is about to get, taken out of this match. And the referee's like, this match is not going to happen. And Aaliyah's begging. She's like, please, no, like, please, let's do this match. So the referee says, all right, cool. Let's do this match. You're in. All right, fine. So then Aaliyah literally goes like right in and she ends up rolling up a freaking Natalya and she gets the win in 3.17 seconds. And now Aaliyah holds the record for the fastest victory. That's what this was. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know what people are saying here. Let's see. BTW, sorry. By the way, Aaliyah is not Rey Mysterio's daughter. It's the other Aaliyah, the one that you saw on NXT. That Aaliyah. I know. So many Aaliyahs, guys. Lots of Aaliyahs. You got Aaliyah, the one from NXT, and then you got Aaliyah Mysterio, which is Rey Mysterio's daughter. So the other Aaliyah. All right, let's see what we got here. We got YT who says Aaliyah won, so there's that. But on the other hand, the only women's match on the card went 3.17 seconds, bow to bow. We got Pile Driver Finisher who says, poor Natalya, daughter of Jim Neidhart, buried by Aaliyah, and I knew she was going to win as Natalya thought she would win. You know what I thought here? I honestly thought that the reason they were doing this match was because I thought they were just going to like give Aaliyah like a simple like debut here on the show, do her, her match, have her be in the ring with Natalya. So I figured, okay, she's going to be in the ring with Natalya so Natalya can carry her. That's all I was expecting. I was expecting like a 2-minute match. That's legitimately what I was expecting. So I like the story of the Guinness World, the freaking records book. And I like the story of that, but everything else, it's just like, there's not really much there to it. Like there's nothing else there. It was quick, not harmful, but nothing major. Okay, then let's go ahead and move on, everybody, and let's go ahead and jump into our next topic. Once again, friendly reminder, if you guys do want to get your question, comment, or statement read on the air, feel free to send in a super chat. If you do send in a super chat, your comment gets read on the air, 100% guaranteed, or your money back. Just kidding, I don't give your money back. Finally, everybody, this was what we all... Okay, so first of all, I don't even know where to begin. All right, so I was creating the thumbnail for this website, for this video, and I go on WWE.com and I look at the news, right, to see like what's been promoted for SmackDown, because they didn't have much of anything promoted for the show. So I go in and all of a sudden it says like Lita's going to be on here, and I'm like, what? I didn't see any promotion that Lita was going to be on the show. And so it was something that was promoted very last minute. Obviously, we knew that she was going to be in the Rumble, but we didn't know she was going to be on SmackDown until a couple of hours before the show. And I thought to myself, oh my God, Lita's going to be on the show. Obviously, big Lita mark, etc., right? And I got to tell you, like, this was probably the best thing that occurred on the show, again, aside from the closing of the show, which included Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. But this was pretty cool, guys. And I just got to add that Lita looked freaking phenomenal. She went out there and I was just like, man, she looks great. She looks flawless. So she comes out and she basically says, I'm going to win the Royal Rumble. And after I win the Royal Rumble, I'm going to go to WrestleMania. I still got another run in me, this and that. And I'm thinking, oh shoot, like this feels interesting. Like, are they actually going to give Lita an actual run? Like, is this happening? So anyways, so Charlotte Flair comes out and Charlotte essentially starts mocking her. And she basically says, like, is this Flashback Friday? Like, I didn't know this was Flashback Friday. And they start, kind of throwing shots a little bit at one another. There was this good line where Lita tells Charlotte that she calls her Tanya Harding. And this was funny because if you look at what Charlotte was wearing, she really did look like a figure skater because she's got the bun and she's got the really cute, sparkly outfit. So she kind of did look like a figure skater. So I thought that was pretty funny. I thought it was kind of lame when Lita told her that her head was big and that her head was big. I thought that was a little bit of a lame line. I was like, come on, Lita's a little cooler than this. Let's not give her the line of telling another girl she has a big head. Like, that's not necessarily a ha-ha line, but the crowd bought it and, they were calling Charlotte Flair and telling her she has a big head and all of that, whatever. Afterwards, we see, for the closing of this, we see both Charlotte and Lita collide, and Lita ends up hitting the twist of fate on Charlotte. And so from the looks of it, we are going to definitely be getting a little bit more from this. We're probably going to be seeing a Lita Charlotte story here. From the looks of it, this is the direction that we're heading into. And once again, Charlotte is going to be in the Royal Rumble as champion. So I think this is going to be pretty exciting to see. I won't be surprised. I have a feeling that maybe, just maybe, they're going to have, they're going to set it up so that Lita and Charlotte are, obviously there at the exact same time during the Rumble match. And I don't know, maybe they do, one of them costs the other person elimination, or they both get eliminated at the same time, but it's both of their faults. And this will probably lead to Charlotte and Lita. I don't know. I feel like they can do something with that. They can do something there. But at the same time, like, I'm so excited to see Lita and Charlotte and all of this, right? But at the same time, it makes you think like, damn, we literally don't have any other big contenders, big challengers for Charlotte, that essentially you kind of have to go back and essentially grab, Lita and, have her coming in here and playing into the story, which just kind of goes to show how slim the women's division is. So that is the one thing where you're just like, oh man, like, that's pretty interesting. We got a super chat, BTW, from 5 Crowns Entertainment. Thank you so much for sending this in. 5 Crowns Entertainment says, Lita versus Charlotte at Mania, ! I would mark out so hard for that, like so hard, especially because like for me, like Lita was my favorite wrestler growing up, and Charlotte is my favorite women's wrestler right now. So it's kind of like, there's halves of my life coming together, the first half and the current part of it. So anyways, thank you so much to 5 Crowns Entertainment for also sending this in here. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see if we got any more comments. This one's from Brandon, who says that he believes this was the best part of the show. Let's see. Someone mentions that they had Toni Storm, but obviously that didn't end up working out. We all know, how that essentially went down, at least for the most part too, And let's see. I think we got mostly everything in regards to that. Terrence Sullivan says Lita, Charlotte, and Mickey in the ring would rock. Dude, isn't it? Yeah, it's kind of crazy getting those two worlds colliding. I don't know. I'm looking forward to it. All right, so that was legitimately one of the highlights of SmackDown. That was probably the highlight of SmackDown for tonight. Afterwards, we had Ricochet versus Sheamus. Ricochet has a brand new theme song, which I kind of was taken aback by it. I didn't know this was like the first time that they had premiered his new song, or if it had been out for a while. But no, apparently today was the first day that they did it. And I got to tell you, I'm bummed out because I liked Ricochet's old theme song. It was very excited. It got me like, done. I forgot how it went, but it was exciting. This match was okay. It wasn't what I expected. I thought that it could have been a little bit better. Sheamus ended up winning with the bro kick. Adam Pearce makes a match for the following week. We are going to be getting Naomi versus Charlotte Flair once again next week. Kofi Kingston is entering the Royal Rumble in place of Xavier, who apparently has a calf injury. We then see Kofi versus Madcap Moss. They make douche jokes before this. Moss is back again without a shirt. Well, Moss is officially wrestling without a shirt. And it's funny because he's wrestling in there with suspenders. And this was kind of funny to me because I forgot, I think it was on WWE Day 1, during that post show that I did on Fightful, I mentioned that I thought that given Madcap Moss's physical look, that he should not be wrestling with a shirt on. And now he is no longer wrestling with a shirt on. And I feel responsible for that. I don't know what else to say about that, but I feel responsible. Anyways, we got Madcap Moss winning this. Jesus. And I was kind of hoping that, like, yeah, I don't know what I was hoping. Oh, God. All right, let's go ahead and move on, everybody. We got one more thing to talk about, then we're going to go ahead and hop into AEW Rampage. We got an interaction between Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Seth goes in for the fist bump, and Roman Reigns basically tells him that it is beneath him. And they kind of do a couple of, they go back and forth a little bit, but the gist of this here is, Roman Reigns is basically saying that he's the better one. Seth Rollins is saying, I made you. And then at the end, we have a brilliant, this was my favorite part of this whole thing, was Roman Reigns essentially tells Seth Rollins, like, look, if I wanted to wrestle a big star at WrestleMania, if I wanted to wrestle a big star, I would have called your wife. Basically saying that, obviously Becky Lynch is the bigger star than Seth Rollins. So I thought that was a really good burial. And probably one of the high points, once again, of SmackDown. So there you go. That was the show. It needed a lot of work today, guys. A lot of work. I don't know what was going on with today's show, but I hope that this is not the case for next week. Some Khalid N says, Denise is the booker ? For reals, bro. Like, I feel so responsible for that. I should have never said that, what I said. I really regret it now. Anyways, guys, before we move on to AEW Rampage, just a friendly reminder that I am live on F4W Online every Tuesdays to talk about NXT 2.0. That's been an interesting ride. Pretty decent, though. Honestly, I feel like we have a good time covering the show. Believe it or not, we have a good time. Wednesdays, I am on to talk about AEW Dynamite. And then Fridays, I am on to talk both SmackDown and Rampage. So add me to your schedule if you are enjoying the show. Add it to your schedule. We got another super chat from Heidi Ho 77 who says Roman and Seth in the ring seemed like a really big deal. It did, and it's kind of cool because what I thought was cool about seeing Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins in the ring together, it's kind of like they obviously, with the Shield, they have so much history, but it's almost like they're grown up versions of what they used to be. You got Roman Reigns, who is this, going by the tribal chief and, acknowledge me, and he's champion, and, he's such a big star. And then you have Seth Rollins, who is basically, dressing like a diva, and he's, so fancy, and he's a fancy man. So you kind of have like these two grown-up versions of both Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins, which I kind of thought was pretty interesting. Anyways, but thank you so much to Heidi Ho 77 for sending this in. And as Akuj 97 says, on to AEW Rampage. Zeno Hour says, Denise, since you're the booker, tell him to push Ali. I'll try, man. I'll try. All right, guys. Let's get into this. We got some stuff that I liked on this show. I thought this was not the strongest episode of AEW Rampage. This was a mediocre episode at best. I thought we got some good stuff. I would say that the highlight of the night was definitely the Acclaimed music video, the Jay Lethal, Ricky Starks little thing that they did, and the main event. Everything else was just there. Kicking it off with Adam Cole versus Trent Beretta. This was okay. Like, we got multiple brainbusters by. I thought that it took me a second to get invested in this match, but the last couple of minutes, I think, really sold it for me. Like, the last couple of minutes of this match were very exciting. You see Adam Cole hit a couple of brainbusters throughout this match. You see Cole hit the Canadian Destroyer. We see Trent do the Saito suplex. Then we see Trent do a strong zero. So what you're seeing throughout like the final few minutes of this match is a bunch of counters. So it looks really cool. And then afterwards, you eventually see Adam Cole get the win for this match. And I think for me, if it wasn't for these last like little few moments of this match, I thought this match would have just been your basic average match. I was not necessarily in love with it. We got a super chat from Cadillac Carson who says, the opening match on Rampage was so fun, but with like 10 people outside of the ring, I knew they weren't going to just stand there quietly. Yeah, that's one of the things that we do get a lot of interactions on AEW, and we do get a lot of, the run-ins and a lot of, interferences and different stuff like that. So I get what you mean by that. Thank you so much to Cadillac Carson for also sending in this super chat here. But we got a lot of people people putting over this match as well. We got people here saying Cole versus Trent was amazing. And Jared Ford says seeing Trent in singles action was really good. And Killer Mike 375 says ending was a little WWE-ish, wasn't the biggest fan. Let's see what else we got here. We got a super chat from Five Crowns Entertainment who says that match with Adam Cole was lackluster. It was just there for me, guys. Like, it wasn't to me anything special. I'm sorry. And I obviously like both guys, but it was just a match. Thank you so much to Five Crowns Entertainment. We got VL Kimmo's also enjoyed this match as well. All right, let's get into Shawn Spears versus Andrew Everett. This was a squash. This was Andrew's AEW debut. Spears hits the C4 right away, gets the win. And let's talk about what kind of happened afterwards, because that's pretty much the story there. We're continuing, obviously, the whole thing with Wardlow and, MJF. MJF wasn't on the show tonight, but this still furthering that story there. We got Shawn Spears. This was actually pretty hilarious. So you have Shawn Spears is cutting this promo afterwards, and he's basically saying how, in other places, they didn't see him as marketable and this and that, but you know what? He's out there, and, he's basically putting himself over, right? And this was funny because he's going off and he's being all serious and this and that. And the crowd is chanting Wardlow. So this guy's putting himself over and being all serious about it. And the crowd is like, Wardlow, Wardlow. And Wardlow's just in the back chilling. And he's just with the RBF. So Shawn Spears continues on by addressing CM Punk, since we're going to have the match we've all been waiting for, CM Punk versus Shawn Spears on Dynamite. And Shawn Spears basically says that he is going to expose CM Punk. He was gone 7 years, and Shawn Spears says 7 years is a long time. So I am going to expose CM Punk. So that was pretty much that, guys. That was that. Mike Cam says, I can't take Shawn Spears seriously. I really like Shawn Spears, actually. I think that he has a very, I'm glad they're showing his funny side. I love his funny side. I think his funny side works. The chairman stuff works. It's hilarious. Him being MJF's, MJF's shadow. I was going to say his chicle, but so his chicle in English is gum. So there's this thing in Spanish, a saying, whenever someone is stuck to someone, you say oh, it's you're being this person's chicle, or you don't want to be someone's chicle, right? Because that means that you're stuck to this person. Anyway, so that's the way I see Shawn Spears, as MJF's chicle. Some people will get that. Anyways, let's go ahead and continue on here. This one's from, I wanted to read this one from Andrew Cook, who says, they've been teasing Wardlow's turn so long. I want the satisfaction of seeing him destroy Spears and MJF. What they do these next following, weeks with Wardlow is definitely going to be very important, because we all know that the turn is coming. So the way that it has to be executed, has to be done to the T. And obviously a lot of people already weren't fans of, the 8 power bombs that he did on CM Punk and the way that CM Punk won. We had a lot of people that felt that, that definitely was not believable. And I feel that all those criticisms were definitely valid. So I would say that they have to make sure not to keep doing stuff like that with Wardlow because a lot of people did not like that. I was a fan of everything that went down that day, because I just personally, I liked it, but I know a lot of people did not like that. But we got a couple of more. Let's go ahead and jump into our next topic, actually. So let's get into the Acclaimed music video. So the Acclaimed, Anthony Bowens and Max Caster, they did a music video, a diss song on Sting and Darby Allin. And this was great, guys. This was hands down the best thing I saw in all the 3 hours of wrestling, in all the 3 hours of wrestling content that I consumed today. This music video that the Acclaimed did was the best thing. It was so dorky, man. It was so dorky. Basically, like they're out there, with the face paint, and then I didn't write down their lyrics, but they had some lyrics that were just funny as hell. The main one that I think will be stuck in everybody's head is that they were saying that Darby and Sting are two grown men going through a goth phase. And I thought that was pretty freaking hilarious. And obviously, they continue that throughout the song. There was a line, and again, I didn't write it down, but basically this was a line that I popped for the most. And let me know what line you popped for the most, BTW. But mine was the one where they were talking about Sting coming out with a big black bat, but then saying he has a tiny, you know what? And the way that it was said, it was very, it was hilarious. I think I died. Like, I popped so hard for that. It was hilarious as how I completely butchered it because I didn't remember the lyrics, but go back. That was my favorite part of the music video. My favorite part. Let's see what we got here, guys. How did you guys feel about this? What was your favorite part? What was your favorite line? And yes, by the way, it did get bleeped too. My favorite part was the part that got bleeped. We got 5 Crowns Entertainment who says, better than my music videos, not only the lyrics, the delivery, and the sound. Platinum Max, future AEW champ. Cody Santello says he loves Sting and Darby, though. Let's see what else we got. This one's from Terrence Sullivan, who says that this was hilarious, so campy, but loved it. I think that it was definitely really good. We got Khalid N, who says that this was the best part of Rampage. It really was. It really, really was. Dale Arazi says, was it the white penis part? It was definitely that part. That was the funniest part. It really was. Killer Mike says, haha, I love the corny, but effing amazing. And then also everybody pointing out Stang. All right. Good stuff there. That was definitely a hit for sure. A for sure hit. All right. What was after this? All right. So after this, we got the 6-woman match. We got Chris Statlander, Red Velvet, Layla Hirsch versus Nyla Rose, Penelope Ford, and the Bunny. So this is okay. This is more of I think, pushing now some of the new stories that they're going to be highlighting on the shows. So the story of this match was really that Chris Statlander and Layla Hirsch could not coexist. They weren't getting along during this. They couldn't coexist. My favorite part of this match was when Chris Statlander had the crab on Penelope Ford, when she had the crab on her, and I don't know, for some reason, it just looked extra cool. Penelope Ford, I don't know what she was doing, but it looks like she was literally bending her body into a pretzel. And I loved the visual aspect of it. I was a fan of this. I really, really liked this. So that was probably my favorite part of the match. For the finish, we saw Statlander and Hirsch essentially start to argue. And so Bunny ends up shoving Layla Hirsch right onto Chris Statlander. And then she rolls her up for the pin. So the Bunny gets the win for her team. So again, this is really just, kind of moving that story forward with Chris Statlander and Layla. So I'm a fan of this. And, Layla kind of gave her like a really dirty look afterwards. Like she was so serious just looking at her. I like this. These are 2 girls that I have been saying need to get more, more time, more of a push, more TV time, you name it. They need to get it on Dynamite or Rampage or whatever, because Layla Hirsch, I think from the second we got introduced to her on AEW, she has sort of been like, I don't feel like she's the traditional type of person that I almost feel like she's not the traditional type of person that I feel people tend to get behind of. But when she goes out there and she shows you what you can do, like what she can do, you can't help but to like want to root for her because she's so good. So I've liked Layla Hirsch like right from the start. Chris Statlander, obviously she was gone for a bit, but when she came back, it was just like, I remember that match that she had with Britt Baker, and she was just showing how strong she was in that match. And I never forgot that. Like, I could not let that go. I never forgot that, because I feel like Chris Statlander is somebody that I don't know if underrated is the right word, but I do think that she's underutilized. Like, they should be using her a lot more. And I think maybe because she has, the character that she does, I think that sometimes she gets forgotten about. But there is no reason why Chris Statlander shouldn't be consistently, pushed in a strong way, because she has such a good look. She's legitimately likable, and she also is very, like I said, very strong, and that's very fun to see in her work and in her matches. So I'm definitely a fan of both of them. So I'm looking forward to see what they do together. Alrighty, guys, let's go ahead and continue on. So before I do, we got to 3 more things to talk about. But before I do go into those 3 things, just a friendly reminder, everybody, if you have not visited my YouTube channel, youtube.com/Denise Salcedo, I urge you, go visit it. I officially hit 51,000 subscribers on YouTube, and I'm really working towards growing that channel. I think that last year, one of my biggest struggles is that I took on I took on so much work other places, that I was, giving myself to all these people, like companies, like businesses and work, and doing so much for those places, and I didn't get to do as much for my channel, and so that really was like bothering me. So now I've really just tried to like rework my schedule so that I'm still doing all the work that I was already signed up myself up to do, but on top of that, like, I really want to grow this YouTube channel so that it kind of so that I can, actually make a living off of that channel, So if you guys please go subscribe, check it out, check out some of the videos. I recently did lots of good stuff are on there. Interview with Deonna Purrazzo, which a lot of people have been liking. That was a really fun conversation. A conversation with Lio Rush. I think you guys might want to check that one out as well. I also did an interview with Zicky Dice, who recently signed with Impact Wrestling. And then one of the videos that I have gotten some pretty good feedback on that I think people really enjoyed was the unboxing video that I did for the All Elite crate, which you can actually see. Nyla Rose is right there. And I'm also wearing the socks right now, but you can't see them. But if you guys go and check that video out, it's a really fun one, and you're going to be seeing lots more content. You can also check out the past videos that I've done. Obviously, recent ones include that interview with Shawn Michaels. Sean Ross Sapp and I have a video up there too, where we do a wrestling bingo game. That one was really popular too. So if you guys want to check those all out, those are all up on youtube.com/Denise Salcedo. But now, let's go ahead and jump into my other favorite part of AEW Rampage. My gosh, sorry guys, I've been drinking a lot of water. Okay, so Jay Lethal essentially comes out and addresses Ricky Starks, who's on commentary, and he basically tells him, I'm sort of sick to my stomach with everything that I've been seeing between Team Taz and Dante Martin. So he basically challenges him for the FTW championship. But before challenging him, he kind of buries it and basically says, like, look, this ain't even an official recognized bout by AEW. You haven't even defended it because you're too busy worrying about your clothes, and you haven't even defended the title. Like, there's not a long line of challengers for that FTW title. So he tells them, I want to challenge you for the title because I know what it means to you. And I thought, that's good stuff. I like that. Because I felt that everything that Jay Lethal said about the FTW championship was definitely true. And basically him wanting it just because he knows what it means to Ricky Starks, I think was really good. And then he kind of goes on and he basically says, oh, but don't worry, I'm not expecting an answer right now because I know that you got to go ask your daddy, Taz, for permission. And so obviously, like, Taz is on commentary and he just starts going off. Like, I can't even make out what he's saying because he's going off on commentary. Ricky Starks has the WTF face. And so we got all of that essentially going down. So I really liked this. Now, here's the big thing though. And I think the thing that we have to talk about is that even though I liked what we're doing with Jay Lethal, I didn't like what we were doing this this past week on Dynamite. I wasn't crazy about how that whole match ended and how all that went down, but now I get what they're doing here, at least with what they did on Rampage, right? But now a lot of people are asking, what is going on with Lio Rush? Because Lio Rush was the person that was in that storyline. This was the storyline that he was in. He was the one being Dante's tag team partner / hype man. Then Dante signs with Team Taz. And then there's this big issue between Team Taz, Dante, and Lio Rush. And then all of a sudden, Jay Lethal is kind of the person that is taking over the spot. So a lot of people were asking, like, what's going on with Lio Rush? What's going on with Lio Rush? I don't know. I think that, like, my initial assumption was like, hey, you know, he's got the tapings, he's doing New Japan. I don't know what his schedule looks like, but there's obviously a lot of theories out there, and I don't want to speculate on any theories, but just given the fact that now they're going in deeper with this whole thing with Jay Lethal and, you know, him, you know, challenging for the championship and all of that, it doesn't look good for Lio Rush. Like, I don't know what on earth is going on there, but it's just pretty interesting to see that he's sort of been replaced in this picture, to say the least. Twitch Face points out that a WTF face is the opposite of the FTW face. Dead. I didn't think about that. Thank you so much for pointing that out, by the way. Jared Ford says, I'm starting to think that Lio might have gotten sidelines. Dude, I don't know, especially because I literally interviewed him, on Tuesday. On Tuesday, I interviewed Lio Rush, and we were talking about AEW. We were talking about his goals. We talked about his relationship with Tony Khan. We talked about him retiring and returning. We talked about all of that. So I think for me, like, this kind of feels like very, like, weird, you know, and I don't want to, like, speculate, but obviously you can't help. It's only natural because you're like, what the heck? This was his spot, and now Jay Lethal's in it? What's going on? We don't know what's going on. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go ahead and continue on. Let's get into this main event, which I absolutely loved. And the main event was John Silver and Alex Reynolds challenging for the tag team titles against Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. This was a fun match, guys. This was a fun match. It was a match that you were expecting to see out of these guys. Let's talk about what happened towards the end. We saw all 4 guys essentially get up on the corner, do the superplex spot. That was pretty fun. They all looked like Jenga tower falling down. It's exactly what it looked like. But there was a lot of good action in here. Some of my favorite parts included John Silver essentially doing oh, Jesus. I wrote John Silver, Insight, and Duplex. John Silver, Inside, and Duplex. John Silver obviously hits a suplex on Jungle Boy. I don't remember what the insight was supposed to be. Autocorrected, changed it to somebody else. But that was pretty fun, though. Dang! What did he do? Somebody remind me. I'm trying to remember what the hell insight was supposed to be. He's in a duplex. Someone says he's in a duplex. Notes app is killing me, guys. Anyways, on the outside, we do see Jungle Boy hit a Hurricanrana. Obviously, very nice. But I think the part that made the Hurricanrana feel extra special was Jungle Boy did the Hurricanrana on Silver and launched him onto Evil Uno. So it looked extra cool because he got launched onto like another person's body. So that was pretty fun there too. And Jungle Boy also ended up hitting the Canadian Destroyer on Alex Reynolds. Jungle Boy does a Tope Suicida. And eventually we end up seeing Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus essentially retain the titles. This was really fun, guys. This is the kind of matches that I think like I want to see out of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus as tag team champions. So I was very happy with this. Good stuff there. Let's see what you guys got. Go ahead and throw in some comments. We got lots of things here. 5 Crowns Entertainment says, new move, inside duplex. Jesus, what did he do before the suplex? He did something before the suplex, and that's what insight is. But I don't remember what the hell it was that he did. He did something right before the freaking suplex. All right, here we go. We got Chris Cage 2X says Denise copying Granny's gimmick. Radio Oddity says, I feel Jurassic Express will be given a couple of successive wins to offset the fact this could be a short reign. I feel like the House of Black could be could be too big to ignore. Honestly, I feel like I get that the House of Black is cool and we all like Malachi Black and we're all excited for Brody King, but I do not want to see Jurassic Express get screwed out. And I know that they probably weren't supposed to be champions right now. I get that. But now that they are champions, I don't want to see them get screwed into a short reign because, oh, we got to make Malachi Black and Brody King tag team champions. Like, nah, I want to see Jurassic Express have a legitimate tag team run. So I don't want to see that get cut short, you know? I like Jurassic Express. Thank you so much to Radio Oddity for also sending in this comment here. Let's go through a couple more comments here and see what people are saying. This one's from Cody, who says, my eyes are glued when Jungle Boy wrestles. And this one is from Jared, who says, Jurassic Express do make good tag team champs, and it was an awesome main event. I completely agree with all of you on that here. And Joe Martinez says they needed to send Hook this week. That's true. He's been on the last few couple of Rampages. I think this was the first one in a bit that he hasn't been on. So yeah, we miss Hook. Send Hook to Rampage. Alrighty, guys, there you go. We pretty much got everything. Send in any final comments, any final super chats. I'm gonna go through the Dynamite card, and that'll be the wrap for this show here. I do want to read this comment from Ed Pumps, who says that this is what the Lucha Brothers should have been doing. I know we did not need to see Lucha Bros versus FTR as many times as we did. I'm sorry. I know that a lot of people are big FTR fans. I like FTR, but we did not need to see that match 1,000 freaking times. Like, we needed to see Lucha Bros go and, like, you know, date a bunch of other tag teams, you know? That's what I wanted to see. And unfortunately, you know, things had to end the way that they ended. What can you do? That's life. But I don't want to see the same thing happen to Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus. I don't want to see it. We got a comment from Evian Sanita, who says, Jurassic Express is a really great and entertaining tag team, but I feel they will have short reign because there are other high-profile tag teams out there. I think in terms of, like, high-profile, I think that Jurassic Express, I would consider them high-profile just because of how over they have gotten with the AEW audience. Because they have gotten over with the fans, I would consider them high-profile. Like, I would consider them high profile, 100%. 100%. We got a super chat from Killer Mike 375. Thank you so much to Mike, who says, appreciation super chat. Been loving the streams. Keep up the good work and enjoy the break. Thank you so much. I love doing these streams. I feel that, you know, as we've been going, they've just been getting better and better. And, you know, we've really built a really nice little family here. So I really appreciate it. All right, guys, the AEW Dynamite card coming up this Wednesday, which I will be here right after the show. We got Adam Cole and Britt Baker. They're going to be taking on Orange Cassidy and Chris Statlander. I think that one's going to be a really good match. I'm looking forward to it. We got CM Punk versus Shawn Spears. Expect something crazy to go down with the current story that they are telling. Sting and Darby Allin versus the Acclaimed. Sting and Darby, they need to get their edge back, man, because after that music video and that diss, oof, they better be pissed when they come in on Wednesday. We also got Serena Deeb, who has gone absolutely bananas. She is now cuckoo, and she is not cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. She is just cuckoo. Serena Deeb versus Sky Blue. I'm expecting Serena Deeb just to go nuts on Sky Blue, and Sky Blue is like literally the sweetest thing ever. So yeah, that's what I'm expecting from that match. We got Lee Johnson and Brock Anderson versus FTR. Okay. Cody Rhodes returns. That should be fun to see what the reaction is for that. And a new match has been added. We are going to be seeing the House of Black versus Varsity Blondes. That should be a good one too. Varsity Blondes are pretty over with the AEW audience. House of Black, this will be their first match together on AEW. So I'm obviously expecting them to get the win, but it should be a good time regardless. So there you guys go. That is the show for this Wednesday, and I will see you guys on Tuesday for NXT 2.0, Wednesday AEW Dynamite, Friday SmackDown and Rampage. Other than that, guys, please enjoy your weekend. I am going on a staycation for 2 days, and I'll be back to work on Monday. Have a great weekend, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll see you guys later. Bye.